Welcome back after a bit of a break, and today I'm in the new market area of Hat Yai. In previous videos I've been to the Chi Gim Yong area, which is all over in that direction, and also to the Tong Sao area, which is in that direction on the other side of Si Pulwana Road. And the Thai name for this area is Talat Mai. I'll just show you a sign. It's this word up here. So Talat, which means market, and the word Mai in Thai has several different meanings dependent on the tone. And this word here starts with a high class initial consonant and has the first tone mark, so it's got a low tone, so you've got to sort of try and get down in your register. Talat Mai. And that word means new. So the word order in Thai is now an adjective, market new, so new market. And I know that a lot of foreigners coming to Thailand have absolutely no interest in the language, and if you suggest they learn, they sometimes get offended by that. But if you're in Hat Yai and you want to come here by tuk-tuk or motorbike taxi, the guy is very unlikely to speak any English, and if you can tell him the name in Thai, it really does help. I just came here for a general look around, not to look at anything specific. What we have here is the old Emperor Hotel, quite a big building, and this iron framework outside I think used to be a nightclub. And even when I first got to Hat Yai 19 years ago, this place was quite run down, quite dilapidated, and it struck me that it needed a sort of complete refurbishment. And 7 years ago, that's what I started to do. I walked past here one day in 2015. They closed the hotel, completely gutted it to a shell, and started to refurbish it. It's taken a long time, I guess, because of the problems with the economy and COVID. There's just been sort of no hurry to do it. And the refurbishment is still ongoing. I'm not sure when it's going to reopen. It's probably going to be quite a nice place when it does, but it's not finished yet. There are a lot of little food shops in this area. This one's called Thai Arun Rang Nok. Rang Nok is bird's nest, very popular with ethnic Chinese visitors from Malaysia and Singapore. And the food shops here are quite highly rated among the locals. Whenever my wife comes to this area, she has to get certain types of food from specific shops because she says at this shop it's the best in Hat Yai. I'm no expert, but so that's what the locals tell me, that the food around this area is very good. I think I've mentioned this before in videos, but in Thailand there are sort of two basic styles of food. And the first one is ahan tam sang, which is like food made to order. So you just tell them what you want and they'll make it fresh. And the other type, which is very popular, is this type, which is called khao gang. And it's like pre-made curries. So they make all these curries fairly early in the morning, put them in trays, and then when you're hungry, just get a plate of rice, and then dip into whatever you want. You can take as many as you want. You'll be charged accordingly, of course. This is a sign we saw earlier for New Market. It's a restaurant, and the food on offer, 4 lines here. So khao mu dang, so that's rice and red pork. Khao mu grop, rice and crispy pork. Khao na pet, which is roast duck on rice, and cow ka mu, which is rice and pork leg. Rong Ram Taipei. This is the Taipei Hotel, one of Hat Yai's older hotels, and I don't think it's been refurbished. And when I was doing my website some years ago, it was an Australian guy used to send me emails quite frequently. And he came to Hat Yai almost every year, and he stayed here one time, and he wasn't all that complimentary about it. And I have mixed feelings. In one way, it brings back lots of good memories. When I was first in Thailand, like 35 years ago, I remember lots of hotels like this. So, you know, seeing places like this brings back good memories. But at the same time, I would prefer these days to stay in somewhere a bit more modern and a bit more comfortable. These places always look better after dark. More people around, lots of lights on, and you don't tend to notice all the garbage. I remember in Phuket some years ago, I went down to like the Soy Bangla area in the daytime, and I've been there a few times at night and it looked okay. Not really my scene, but it was okay. But during the daytime it just looked filthy, just garbage and bottles everywhere. That noise is coming from over here. It looks like they're refurbishing one of the old shop houses. There are a few shops in this area. This one's selling ladies' shoes. You'll also find a 7-Eleven and some pharmacies, but mainly this area is all about food. In my previous videos, I've talked about the commercial sex industry in Hat Yai, or rather the demise of the commercial sex industry in Hat Yai. Previously, there were 2 soapy massage places here and one directly opposite. This one was called Atami, and they've taken down the sign, but you can still see the outline where it says up, op, nuap, up to bathe, op to roast, and nuap to massage. And just around the corner is a hotel, now closed, where the same thing was on offer. So when it opened, there was a big goldfish bowl area on the first floor and a lot of girls employed. And back in the day, these places existed everywhere. And in the last few years, they've all disappeared. And it doesn't bother me. I've sort of never used these places and never been particularly interested. I met my first girlfriend on the first full day in Thailand, which was a bit of a mistake, but I've always had girlfriends. I've been married since 2010. You know, I've never really had any interest in the commercial sex industry in Thailand, but you can't help but notice it, because it used to be just in your face all the time. Wherever you went, there were places like this, and if you just walked around as a Western single male, you know, you continually get solicited and asked if you wanted girls. So it was, even without being particularly interested, it was obvious what was going on and where. And it's just been fascinating to see like a complete industry disappear. You know, what was once everywhere is now nowhere to be found. This is the Hat Yai Wiang Pin Hotel. So it used to be quite a busy hotel, and it used to employ a lot of girls. And now all these places have gone. Now I'm not naive enough to believe that the industry has completely disappeared. No doubt it's just gone underground, but in the past it used to be very visible and very conspicuous. In fact, when I was here before, I asked a local guy, you know, about this hotel, and he said it's been closed for years. I wasn't aware of that. And then he sort of told me that if I was interested in a girl, he knew where they were. So it still goes on, but these days you just need to know where, because it's not as visible as it used to be. This place is closed now. It used to be called Mali Restaurant, and I had one of the most unpleasant dining experiences I've ever had here. It looks okay, all the walls are tiled, it looks fairly clean. And I went in, ordered some food, finished my food, and I wanted to pay. There were no staff around. So I went to look for the staff, went in the kitchen. When I went in the kitchen, the floor and all of the food preparation services was covered by rats. There must have been about 20 rats in it. It was absolutely disgusting. Anyway, shortly after the restaurant closed. Here's another hotel in the Newmarket area, the Meridian. I've never stayed there, so I don't know much about it. and also the usual massage shops that you find in Thailand everywhere. But I've asked about prices a few times in these places, and the quotes I'm given are always more expensive than some of the other shops a bit closer into town. I don't know why that is. Another massage shop here, a little spirit house, and just opposite the Ambassador Hotel. Then there'll be some more restaurants up here. There's a bakery, it looks quite clean, and also a good shop for getting fried duck. I haven't been there for a while, but I used to go there quite often. And really, it would be much better doing something like this in the evening when there's more people around and it looks generally better. But it's very difficult in my situation, and that's why there haven't been many videos lately. I'm just too busy and I've got too many responsibilities. I take my son to school in the morning, go home, pick him up in the afternoon. That's Monday to Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday I take him to play football. I've just got no time. The only chance I get to make these videos is if I leave the house early when I pick him up, and then spend a few hours in the afternoon walking around. So I apologise, but it's just not possible. And if I do spend a lot of time making videos, my life starts to suffer elsewhere. Jobs start to pile up at home, and it's really not good. I just can't afford to do it. If you want to make a success of YouTube, you really have to treat it like a full-time profession. You know, as soon as you upload one video, you've got to be starting on the next video. And unfortunately, I just can't afford to do that. This little sushi shop on the corner is pretty good. It's just opposite the 7-Eleven over there. And if you come in the evening, you'll probably find a queue of people outside. As I said previously, this area has quite a good reputation for food among the locals. And I would suspect that the locals are quite happy at the moment after a record-breaking weekend. Last Friday it was National Day in Malaysia, and it seems as if half of Malaysia decided to spend the weekend in Hat Yai. I've never seen so many tour buses, cars and motorbikes with Malaysian license plates. It was really, really busy. And I heard on the radio that the hotels in Hat Yai were fully booked, and there are a lot of hotels and a lot of hotel rooms, so it's really good for the local economy. The only problem was traffic. There were some terrible traffic jams. There are some infrastructure projects going on in Hat Yai at the moment. One is to resurface all the roads. There's another one to get some of these ugly overhead electricity cables underground. The Thai should have done that years ago, but they're only just starting. And they've been doing work on the airport road for a long time, widening it, making it safer, and putting storm drains in. The trouble with all these road works and the influx of so many Malaysian tourists is it's caused huge traffic jams. At times it's been almost as bad as Bangkok. These little fresh fruit stalls are really good, quite cheap, and I don't know why, but the fruit in Thailand seems to taste much better than anywhere else. It certainly tastes better than the fruit I've tasted in Malaysia and Vietnam. I don't know how much language the lady speaks. You can always point, but it's useful to know a few Thai words. So, saparot, tangmo, cantaloupe, farang. Malago, oh,ลืม Malago. มะม่วงด้วย มะม่วงเปรี้ยวใช่ไหม เปรี้ยว นี่มะม่วงเปรี้ยว Okay, ขอบคุณครับ ฝรั่งดอง Oh, falang, this is like, this is pickled, this is a pickled guava. The outer coating is quite sweet. Thank you, ladies. ขอบคุณครับ สวัสดีครับ For lunch, I've decided to eat duck on rice, khao na pet, at the restaurant where I used to come often, but I haven't been here for a long time. I've had this dish in quite a few places, but I really like it here. The restaurant is called Pet Yang Hong Kong, so grilled duck Hong Kong. Here's my grilled duck on rice. So I get a few veggies. They normally give you ginger on the plate, but they didn't here, so I had to request it specially. So there's a little bowl of ginger. I think this is soy sauce with chilies and a bowl of duck soup. So I'm gonna get stuck into my lunch now. I've just remembered why I used to come here so often. That was really, really good and recommended. So that was a little look around the new market area of Hat Yai. It's not particularly big, but what I like about these sort of places is that you still know you're in Thailand. Thailand is modernizing very quickly, and as it modernizes, it becomes more Western. And in certain parts of Bangkok now, you wouldn't know where you were. You could be in any big city in the world. But places like this, you know you're still in Thailand. So if you're in Hat Yai, take a look around this place. Take a look around Tung Sao, Chi Kim Yong, Lee Gardens. There should be plenty enough to keep you busy for a weekend. If you've got longer than that, try to get out to Songkhla or Lampol. This area is a lot more than just central Hat Yai. There's a lot to see and do sort of outside of the city area. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any questions or comments, please leave them below, and more videos hopefully soon. This is Sipuwanat Road in Hat Yai. Just over there is Diner Department Store. And what you should notice is an absence of overhead electricity cables. Many years ago, there was a project in the downtown area around Lee Gardens Plaza to put all the cables underground, and more recently they've done it in this area, and it just looks so much better. And as well as looking better, it's also safer. When I first got to Hat Yai many years ago, I used to go down to Singapore quite often to see my brother, and whenever I came back, the first thing I noticed were all the ugly overhead electricity cables. So this is a big improvement. And I understand that they're doing this in other parts of Thailand as well, and not before time. Tang Liang Bypass, Ngang Gosang, construction work, Kebun, tied in, cables underground, Tanon, Sipuwanat Road. Another big infrastructure project in Hat Yai has been improving the town's flood defences. There was a huge flood in 2010 that affected me personally quite badly, and ever since then they've been working on improving the flood defences. They've been dredging canals, putting in storm drains where there weren't previously storm drains, and it's just a lot better now. There haven't been any flood problems since the big flood in 2010, and I've spoken to a lot of locals who are now quite confident that there won't be any more flood problems. So what they're doing here, they're dredging this canal. There's lots of mud in there, and putting in like a huge pipe. This has been going on for weeks. I've still been watching it on a daily basis. I did my tertiary education in mechanical and production engineering, but some of these civil engineering projects are really interesting. This is just in front of the Rat Yindi Hospital in Hat Yai. This has taken a huge amount of time, effort and money, but the damage from the last big flood in 2010 was terrible, and it cost billions of baht. So I guess that this is all well worth it. I'm not sure if this project is flood prevention or not. This sign here mentions Nam Sia, which is like dirty water, which I guess is sewage. Where we live, there's no main sewage. Every house has got a septic tank. Maybe in this part of town they have actually got main sewage, I'm not quite sure. I've just had a chat with the older guy over there. He seems to be quite senior and in charge of what's going on here. He lives in Bangkok, but he's just come down to Hat Yai to like oversee this project. And he confirmed this pipe is actually for sewage, main sewage. So the canal it's in will get rid of rainwater to prevent flooding, and within the canal they've got the sewage pipe. I think I was in the wrong profession. I find this stuff really fascinating, and I'd love to know more about how and where they treat mains water and mains sewage. In a previous video, someone left a comment and he'd been involved with the construction of the garbage plant quite near the airport, quite near to where I live, and that was really interesting. So if you're out there and you know anything about water treatment or sewage treatment, please leave me some comments.